Board games, board games. I might be talking about some board games, but I'm not gonna shout. No, I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing. And today I'm looking forward to the year that we are in. It's 2022. And I'm going to talk about my gratitude as well, because I've got a lot around me that's just swell. And I might start to think about the situation, and maybe you might join me in making up some resolutions. Board games, I might talk about. But I'll definitely talk about 2022, and I'm not gonna shout. Hello, everyone, and hello, Jess. It is lovely to see you already in the chat and making me laugh. Jess says, hello. Looks like that bloomin' Bez again. Seen her show before. It's all right. If you like fun, nice to see you. Nice hair, Bez. And it's nice to see you, Jess. And yes, this is, of course, 5 p.m. Thailand current time, but it's always 10 a.m. UK, and I'm going to be doing this for the foreseeable future. Today, I am looking ahead to 2022. I've not got a definite list of resolutions. This is a two-parter, partially so that I can ramble a bit, so that maybe I'll put forward my resolutions. Maybe you'll come back to me and think, hey, that's not, maybe I'll have some thoughts as we're chatting together. And if you have, and by the end of tomorrow's show, my plan is to have determined some sort of resolutions, but also I do want to appreciate that, yes, like there's stuff that I'm concerned about. Maybe I should have written the list, like my biggest fears in 2022, but yeah, that might be a show for another time. What's our Bez's biggest fears? But I want to talk about things I'm looking forward to, things that I'm grateful for, that I already have, that I take with me to 2022, and I just try to keep these lists like 5 items, and then I'm going to go through all my general resolutions, and maybe we can hash them out a wee bit. But that's what the show is all about. I hope that sounds interesting. And Jess says I could resolve to eat more aubergine. I could do that, but that... Nah, I'm fine with that. That doesn't seem like... It seems like I should eat more aubergine if it brings me more pleasure in the moment. Morning, Elaine. It is lovely to see you, and I hope that you are generally well. And same to you, Timmy, all the way in Nova Scotia. Thank you for joining us, and lots of love. And yes, I do like it, but I also like other things. Actually, that brings me to... recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights, recent highlights, playing games and other delights, recent highlights. So before we all start to looking ahead to this year that we're already within, what were your recent highlights of, it might be recent highlights from yesterday or the week before, or even, the month before if you've not been here for a while. Personally, I'm just going to share my recent highlights from yesterday. I want to tell you that I went to Friday Daytime Playtest. It was so much fun. Do I have my little box of stuff? I do apologise. Forgive me. Where's my little pink box of stuff? No, I can't find it. I'll give up. It's... I thought it was there. I thought I would have... Oh, wait. Just one moment. I'm going to show you the prototypes that I made. Here we go. So, I made 2 games yesterday. One of them was a game about it just used a bunch of cards. Picking up cards, rummy style. You've got multiple discard piles. Every time you put down, make a set. If it's a set of 3, you keep one of them. If it's a set of 4, you bank 2 of them. Sorry, when I say keep, I mean bank. And at the end of the game, you're trying to have sets within the cards that you've banked. So it's almost like a meta game. It is quite gamey. That worked well. I was happy with it. It worked badly, but there was potential for it to work well, is what I should say. The other game that I made is one that I'm quite proud of. So there's tomatoes and meatballs and perfume, and I probably want to have more interesting objects. Someone made that comment, which wasn't something that I'd considered. But you've also got a bunch of cards, and then the cards say you've got to find something red, or you've got to find something not red. And if there's red and not red, they cancel out, and something not round. So in this instance, if it says red, not round, then you could take the bacon, because this is red and not red, cancel out, and then you take the bacon. And it's a speed game of grabbing things that match the criteria, and you always see 3 things, so potentially 2 of them can cancel out, but there'll always be at least 1 thing that you're looking for. And people dislike that. Originally, there was one quality of smelly, and there were too many discussions. Ellie and Josh, who was also playing, said, "Oh, I don't like this." David Brain, on the other hand, said, "Oh, I loved these discussions. It's good fun, kind of discussing whether something's smelly or not." And I liked having a judge do this, but this feels like a game that I'm going to pitch for one day for like mass market publication. Roll some dice and grab the things. But yes, having those things work, see other people at Royal Festival Hall, be with everyone else, that was just a fantastic thing. And hello, Runa, it is lovely to see you. I hope that you're generally well. I need to see the sweater better, says Runa. Okay, here you go. It is a Christmas sweater. And I am also getting quite hot, because for some reason when I'm on stream I seem to gesticulate. But Runa also always wants to take home the bacon. Thank you very much. And I'm glad. Thank you so much. Jess says, I walked a long way today with lots of lovely, kind strangers who became friends. We saw a graveyard and church and lots of pretty, colourful buildings. That sounds fantastic. Glad you're enjoying yourself and continuing to see more of the places around you. The other highlights that I had, as well as like playing everyone's brilliant games, like David Brain, who's got the 5x game, which is like 4x, but there's one better because he can also excavate. There was Ellie Dix, who had a really interesting roll and write, passing around things and working on communal boards. And then I played a game with the first time appearance of Josh, who made a game about words. It's not a word game in that you're not constructing words, but it's a game about, it's a quiz game. So then the quizzes become things like, do you know the origin of this word? Or do you know which of these authors is said to have invented the most words? Do you know the meaning of this word that you probably don't know? Like, can you work it out? And sometimes, like, you can, if you understand roots, then you can sort of say, well, it says neo, so that means something to do with new things, and so that cuts out half of the options, so maybe it's one of these two, and then it becomes a 50-50 guess. Anyway, it was a really nice little thing. Lovely day, went back home, cycled, and this is where, similar to what Jess was saying about aubergines, I bought a bunch of carrots and I stir-fried them. I had a friend coming over. I've never stir-fried carrots before, but I chopped them really finely, just a couple of carrots out of the bag, and then they worked so well. That with a bit of that Korean soy paste, bit of Worcester sauce, soy sauce, chili, ginger. It was so good. I mean, I feel like I just wanted more carrots. And so that's the thing. Like, I don't think that I should be like, I want to eat more aubergines as the year goes on. Like, keep trying new things. Like, you know, I've never stir-fried potatoes before. Would that be okay? Maybe not. Maybe I could grate the potatoes, but then they'd probably not really work. But, you know, maybe I should try it. It's like, have fun with it. Because be playful in life. That's something that I want to do. Like, rather than think, I need to do this. Like, yeah. So Elaine says carrots are brilliant. 100%. Elaine also says, I'm wearing a Christmas sweater today too, and this game sounds really fun. Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you like the sound of it. And for the evening, just to go on a wee bit, I've got a friend who lives about half an hour walk away, and then she came over to visit, and I'd made this carrot, mushroom, a pepper, and a leek stir fried together with noodles, and then I was really proud of it, and she infused, and that made me feel good. And then we talked for a while, and then we played my new game about things being not round, or food or not food, and grabbing cherries or not grabbing cherries as appropriate. And then we played a bit more Magic Maze, and Magic Maze continues to delight me. I do feel like the most fun part of Magic Maze is going through the introduction. And once you've gone through those 8 bits and it's like, okay, these are the rules, oh, that's almost slightly disappointing. It feels like at the start, it's like a tight game, and then, okay, you're adding a rule, it's exciting, what's coming next? But then by the end, it's like, oh, what's... Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it in a new instance. We might play it 5-player tonight, because I'm visiting a different friend who lives about 1 hour cycle away. But yes, lovely game. Moving on to brilliant things. Brilliant things. What's a little thing which is brilliant? It seems like everyone in chat is talking about vegetables, so I'm just going to go with that. Carrots are brilliant. Eggplants are lovely, but having them every day would be a pickle. Like, I feel like that's a pun, but I've never pickled aubergines. Make sure the potatoes are cooked, otherwise they'll hurt your tummy. Hello, Sarah. It is lovely to see you, and I hope that you're generally well. Yeah, thank you, Jess. And just brilliant things, vegetables, trying all the vegetables. I think that they are fantastic. And now, if you want to share a brilliant thing, if you want to share any recent highlights of your own, you can. If you want to ask anything, then just along the way, feel free to comment, ask questions, fun like follow, all of that stuff. And it's a delight to have you all along for the ride. And also, for the first time, I'm apparently broadcasting this on Twitter. I don't know what that means, but yeah, there was an option, and I thought, yeah, I'll do that. Anyway, not a pun. Preparing eggplants can be hard. Miss the mark, and the skin is inedible. That's true. Like, you do need to put them in first. Make sure that they're properly cooked. Yes, 100%. And kimchi is brilliant. Yep, I would agree. Mattress toppers are brilliant. Sure, that's a separate thing. I like sweet potato avocado curry dip. Is that what you're saying? And Timmy, recent highlights didn't make it to the first round of the publisher contest, but that's kind of the highlight, opposite of highlight. But, you know, on the other hand, well done for making it as far as you did, Timmy. And well done for, you know, putting yourself out there. And there will be other opportunities. So, I mean, like, I'm not saying everyone should keep on going, because, you know, there's a limit to how much you can keep on going. But, like, for sure, if you've gotten to a certain stage, maybe you can take that information and look back and say, okay, is it just because I've not spent enough time with this game yet? Do I need to keep developing it? And so, yes, all the best. And don't take it as a permanent setback if you have the desire to keep going with it. Runa finished painting gnomes. Congratulations. Sure, Jess, mattress toppers are brilliant. Jess eats vegetables onto mattress toppers. Cool. Look forward to seeing that. And there is a work in progress picture already. Runa, I can't remember. Are you VIP? But feel free to share the link if you are. And if you're not, I can make you one. Anyway, let me talk about looking forward to 2022. Great, I'm glad that you're VIP, Runa, so you can share your links with abandon, because I know you're not going to use that. So, hey, that's not what I wanted. What am I looking forward to? What are you looking forward to? Personally, the number one thing that I am looking forward to is UK Games Expo, and also Aircon, and also Festival International de Jeux, if I can get there, and also the Friendly Board Gamer Con, and basically other conventions. For me, this is such a big part of gaming. I mean, as a person who loves games, as a person who's extroverted, as a person who's publishing games and kind of has to share them with other people and gets most of the promotion and stuff at a convention, I'm really looking forward to these. I just think that there's always going to be the question of, is it safe? Is it okay? Is it, should we be doing this? But I think that I'm hoping that from like March, at least, it'll be a relatively normal year in that, sure, there might be additional restrictions. You might have to wear masks and get your COVID pass or whatever, but I hope that we will be able to engage with each other in real life at conventions, which for me is a big part of what this is all about. I wanted to say, having folk over, doing that more times. Like last night when I had my friends over and then we chatted, we played a couple of games, just doing that more regularly. I've got a table here, I've got 4 chairs. I could buy more chairs, you know, and I've also got a couch. So could have people over and just, yeah, playing games together. That's something I'm looking forward to. And cooking more human interactions in general. Just Friday daytime playtest, walking around, seeing the neighbors, putting little things through the door, you know, having messages, but positive human interaction, not someone who's, don't want to go into it, but someone claims that I ghosted them because, I don't know, maybe because I've not contacted them for 3 months, but they hadn't contacted me. Like literally the last message that was sent like 3 months in October was from me, and then eventually they replied to it claiming that I ghosted them, which was a really horrible claim. And then they claimed a lot of other stuff and told me, and then they swore at me. So I was like, why? But setting that sort of interaction aside, obviously there's always going to be negative human interaction, but yes, there is also positive human interaction, which is what I am looking forward to. I'm looking forward to more tasty meals. I'm looking forward to trying more things, maybe with carrots. And yes, I'm looking forward to, I'm going to say, looking forward to having a clean space. This is actually just typing as I go. There we go. Having a clean space. You know, once some of these boxes have been packed away and put to the side. And those are things that I am looking forward to in 2022. What are you looking forward to? So, Runa, so will you link anyone in the Twitch chat can check that out and look at Runa's stuff? Elaine says, conventions, I'd forgotten what those are. Ah, yes, the delight, that is unhealthy interactions. Yeah, obviously, that's like kind of side, that's kind of a caveat to not all human interactions are brilliant. Most human interactions are brilliant, but not all of them. And thank you very much. I mean, you don't know how I treated this person, but I appreciate the assumption. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And Runa is going to bother me for my favorite recipe. Well, maybe wait until the end of the year so I've had a chance to also, I was telling my friend, because I also saw, I've actually been really lucky this week. I had yeah, a friend over on Sunday, and then what did I do on Monday and Tuesday? I can't remember, but I might have been on my own. But then Wednesday I went out and I had a cycle, and then I saw some people, and then Thursday Chris came over, and then we worked together, and then I went back and saw Chris and McCall, and we played games, and then Friday I got to go to Royal Festival Hall, and yeah, I'm actually yeah. I feel like actually I'm doing quite a bit of human interaction, which I do really appreciate. But anyway, I was talking to McCall about my idea for a cookbook, but instead of it all being written by text, it's all done in a kind of comic format. So it uses text, but also pictures and arrows and diagrams to show you when you're meant to do stuff. Because to me, it's easier to read, especially when you're doing other things. If I'm in the middle of cooking, it's like, okay, what needs to go into the pot now? And what needs to go into a pot is a separate thing to keep track of to what do I need to be cutting or preparing. And so having those two things drawn rather than just written. Anyway, that's a long-term plan. I might not do it this year, but yeah, if there's and Runa says, why not have my favorite recipe right now and then also at the end of the year? Or is it because it's instant noodles right now? Look, my most common recipe, I've not cooked very much since I got here. I don't tend to cook when it's just me. And since I moved, I've had people over 3 times. And yes, I'm trying to think on Sunday and Friday, I cooked stir fries. I'm trying to remember. Oh no, I've only cooked twice properly since I got here. The rest of the time, it's just been heating up tins, making a salad. Obviously, like I prepare stuff, and yes, frankly, oven food and instant noodles. So yeah, there was a lot of tinned curry. That was all tinned curry, cucumber, and tomato. If you call it cooking, I put oven food into the oven, yes. So, I mean, what Runa does, Runa cooks for 2 days, then she'll have something for the next day, and that sounds fantastic. I would love to get into a habit of getting a bunch of veg, making a big stew, maybe even like freezing 4 or 5 portions of it so that in future days I can unfreeze them or something. But yeah, I'll see how the time goes on. Right now, my favorite recipe is not something that I make, and also all of them are I don't have a recipe. I kind of try different things. But right now, my favorite recipe, okay, was what I made last night. I'm going to say 1 pepper, 2 carrots, 1 leek, 2 small packs of noodles. What else? Chili, ginger, Worcester sauce and soy sauce. Yeah, puts in the noodle. Oh, and a whole bunch of mushrooms. Puts in the noodles, puts in the carrots, mix it together, puts in the leeks, mix it together. Oh, Korean soybean paste, that's fantastic. Mix it together, puts in the mushrooms and peppers, mix it together, puts in like seasoning and stuff along the way, and that's basically it. So yes, we're on the same board, and that is my favorite recipe. So there you go, question answered. But yeah, that is what I am looking forward to. Is there anything else that you're looking forward to? Feel free to let me know if there is, or don't feel obligated. But whether you want to tell me right now, live as I'm doing it, or after the fact, I always love to hear, and I always comment to these things. Let's move on to a bit of gratitude, because I do think it's important as I move forwards into the next year. I am incredibly privileged. Like, not only do I have a relatively healthy body, I mean, I can cycle 7 miles, and although it's not right now after having had COVID, it's still a bit strenuous, but I feel okay with that. And like, I've got a roof over my head, I've got a laptop, I've got access to the internet, I've got so much to be grateful for. Like when I compare this time to, I don't know, the 1900s or something, like people are so much more liberal. But these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I came up with 8 things that I wanted to particularly share. So firstly, there's some big shops within a 15-minute cycle. I mean, I can cycle 10 minutes and I go to, within a short distance, I can be at possibly the biggest Sainsbury's in London. It's really big. And then it sells all the things. It's got like, it had, I think, 12 different types of instant noodles. And during COVID, like I bought all of them a bit beforehand and I've finished all of them and I've ranked them all in order of my favorites. And having a Poundland and an Aldi and a Lidl and relatively cheap shops. Sure, like Camden, there's so much expensive stuff. It's ridiculous. Like a hot dog for like £9. No, that's ridiculous. But then you go a bit further down and then you find Super Savers and the Aldi, and that's really good. Having a gas stove for cooking, instant heat, that is fantastic. I do want to give a special shout out to my windows. I mean, windows in general are just a brilliant thing, but also, especially here, I can sit here and I've got lights coming in from multiple directions. Like in this place, I basically keep all the doors open all the time when I'm on my own. Like when other people come over, I might close the door to my bedroom depending on who it is. And, when someone's in the loo, obviously that door's closed if there's someone else here. But generally, I just really enjoy having this big open space with, I guess, rather than windows, what I'm really appreciating is the amount of light. It's not like I've got a skylight or something, but just lights coming in. It's just a fantastic thing. Living somewhere where I'm able to walk around, where I'm able to walk just a wee bit, and then I see trees, and then I can walk, and there's a park, like in this major, big city, and then there's other people, and then I can say Happy New Year, and then they say Happy New Year back. Although if I said that like today, maybe they'd start looking at me a bit, oh, isn't it a bit late? But yeah, just walking around and seeing the lights, and when it's on the horizon. Living alone, I mean, again, this is immense privilege that I'm able to not worry about other people's sinks being in the dishes being in the sink. I'm able to have like a wall of the tinned curries where I've got, these are all my tinned curries ranked. I do have access to quite a few books, which is fantastic. And yeah, just something to read. I know I've not read anything this year, unfortunately, but outside of the computer. But I think that books and comics and reading on paper and having them is a fantastic thing. And I've got a few books that I'm going to make my way through. I am a creative person. I appreciate that I've got that ability, but also I have that opportunity to express myself. I can go to Royal Festival Hall. I can show people a game that I'm not quite sure how it will work, and then they play it. And then, yesterday, one of the games, I added information. So Ellie was saying, oh, this is a bit random. You are just drawing from the top of the deck for the most time. What if literally everything was visible? And I was, oh, wouldn't that be overwhelming? But then we played with literally the entire deck visible, and people are kind of like Seven Wonders Duel, but literally everything was visible where it's being drafted. And yeah, that worked, and having other people give that input, but then it's still my vision, it's still my genesis. But then on the other side, it was, okay, this game, where's my wee pictures of dirty clothes and books and fried egg, and people were like, oh, this is good, but these smelly bits, it's too argumentative. But if you went down to free attributes, that might not be enough. And I say, well, let's try it without the smelly attributes. Let's just have the free attributes, round, food, and red. And then it still worked brilliantly. So having that audience to share my things with, like, I've got people who are ready to support me, like a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after some makes noises, or a game about quickly grabbing creatures. That's totally different, and counting your turnips. And also, yeah, and that leads me to finally, like, Friday daytime playtests in general. Specifically, I am massively grateful for having this near me. It is super, super wonderful. And yeah. Runa, catching up with the comments. So those are all my gratitudes. Feel free to share with me, what are your gratitudes? What do you feel like are good for you as you've gone into as we're going into 2022? Runa says, I will have to have a written version, and I will try it without the peppers because I think stomach is a whiny thing. We will talk. I can give you mine. It is an eggplant one. I am definitely interested in trying your recipe, as long as all the ingredients are readily available, or I might substitute something if they aren't readily available. But no worries. Jess, thank you very much for the compliments. Yes, this is something to be grateful for. And yes, cycling is fantastic. And looking forward to the noodle show, says Jess. If multiple people would like me to do a cooking show, then I will do something. Runa says, my boyfriend has a thing against windows because they lose heat more compared to walls. Yes, he is weird. Yeah, natural light is amazing. I mean, I get that you're losing a bit of heat there, but the benefit, the light, come on, that's brilliant. Runa says, when I talk about the park, I look so happy. Maybe that's a sign that is actually one of my resolutions. I am going to go for more walks. Jess says, I see trees of green, clouds of white, and what a wonderful world. It's not too late for Happy New Year. I think Bez could talk for at least 25 hours about how grateful she is. That's why we love Bez. People have unwritten rules, Jess. And for whatever reason, they teach those to each other. My Christmas tree will be there until February. If that's what brings you joy, then you rock it. Jess's tree is up all year round. In Thailand, it's been Happy New Year from about 20th of December until now, still going strong. But for the record, Jess's tree is a tiny thing. But yes, Friday daytime playtests, that was the number one thing that I'm just massively, massively grateful for. Now, I have some hopes and a few, I'm going to tell you now, this is where I get kind of into resolutions, I guess. And this is something that I hope that I will be able to. And my biggest hope for this year is to finish Categorical. It has been like an albatross around my neck. Manufacturing problems, communication problems, the whole logistics is a pain, a massive pain. And I don't want to go to Grandma because they don't make nice boxes. They're only really good for making big boxes like this, where it's like flush, it's a flat bottom. But what I really want is, when you've got a tiny box like this, you need that little thumb hole, because without that little thumb hole, you don't have something to help you get it off. And if it's an empty box, like I've seen so many times, people put together something and, oh, I can't get it off, and then you're shaking it so that the bottom of the box comes off. But yeah, if I finish Categorical, I want it to be in a small box, in a reasonably nice box with thumb holes, and there is some art anxiety. There's some anxiety about me finishing these letter shapes. I finished a whole bunch of letter shapes, and then some people said, these aren't as nice as the ones that you were showing because this is actually a little bit harder to read compared to those. So I'm going to redo everything yet again, and maybe those, but in future, to lessen my anxiety, like I think I've already said that I'm probably never going to do a Kickstarter again without showing the art beforehand, because I know the argument that, oh, if you've already done that, it's basically like a pre-order site. Hey, the truth is, it kind of is. And in a sense, the biggest benefits of going to Kickstarter is, am I able to financially do this? Am I able to print this? I mean, in theory, and yeah, without Kickstarter, I wouldn't be able to make the games that I do. With Kickstarter, I did my first Bezzy Bargain Bag, and like I got 800 something people to support it, which was amazing. And then I actually made a profit from that, enough that now I have Chris coming to work for me 2 days a week rather than just 1 day a week. And we're hopefully trying to work together, and I'm going to work to do my second Bezzy Bargain Bag and then my third, and hopefully people will enjoy quickly grabbing creatures that are totally different whilst counting turnips, and there'll also be other veg. And people might enjoy the Bezzy Bargain Bag about complimenting drawings and then complimenting the compliments. And some of them will be like this kind of a game that you could imagine, yeah, that might already exist on Board Game Geek, the kind of thing that, yeah, that seems like a game. And then something like the noises or the compliments where it's, whoa, what's going on here? This is like pushing almost new ground. And so I think that this sort of experimentation, anyway, I'm getting off track. That sort of experimentation is delightful to me. Having something and saying, this is what I'm going to do, and then setting up that expectations, doing a Kickstarter saying, this is where I'm going, and then getting to there, that's a really stressful process. And so it is better for my psyche, for my mental health, to do the artwork first. And pretty much everyone else does that already, but I am going to now finally get my stuff in order a little bit. Yeah. Next, I want to sort out an itch account and get my stuff on there. I've been talking to Chris as well. I might ask Chris to look at this. We might open up a joint bank account for business so that I can frankly get Chris to, yeah, manage that and manage the money, because I do trust Chris quite a bit. And so if we kind of have joint ownership of this one bank account, and then I'm not the only person who's responsible for tracking things, that will take that a bit off my mind, and then I can sort of continue to pay Chris, and one of Chris's additional duties can be sorting out stuff. But yeah, itch.io seems really nice for people grabbing print and play files. And I understand that with a Kickstarter, you can take all those emails and then give them free access to the itch.io account. And I can easily do things like, okay, everyone's got access to this, and when I do an update, everyone gets an email, so they're all notified, which is brilliant. So I can continue to work on these games after the fact if I want, or, you know, I could add more whimsical creatures. So if someone buys it, I could say, okay, if you buy it at this point, it's £1. If you buy it down the line, the price goes up because you're getting more. And frankly, I think that the pricing for all my things is going to be similar to what I did for my first Bezzy Bargain Bag, which is £1 until the Kickstarter is finished, and then it will go up to £2.50. Like, it's still fairly cheap, but it's still a Bezzy Bargain Bag. But it's just a slight bit extra, just a slight bit of encouragement to say, please back the Kickstarter. You are saving a bit of money. And Jess says, when that turnip game is published and distributed, they'll change the name, won't they? Well, it's up to the person who does it. They might not. I mean, if they want to, like, look, once I've done my version, if someone else wants to redo any of my games the way that they did with Yogi, if someone wants to take a game about wee whimsical creatures and try to identify monster amongst noises and say, okay, we're going to do our own version and call it Bogs, and it's all about these bog monsters, and then you make the noises of these bog, like, whatever. Like, I'm okay with that if, frankly, yes, if they're paying me enough. Because as we discovered from my 10 games that have brought me joy of my own personal designs, what I personally enjoy from my own personal designs is, yes, seeing people engage with it, which distributes a publisher who's sharing it with more and more people, even more fun. Secondly, I love expressing myself, and sure, that goes down when another publisher is doing it. But then the third thing is I like having money. Frankly, it allows me to pay rent. It allows me to go to Friday daytime playtest and also treat myself to one of the little fancy meals like once a week. I go there and then I buy from the street food once a week. That's my little treat. And hey, I get to have like a Korean or an Indian curry, and like the Curry Shack, they always give me a discount because I'm there, because I'm at the Royal Festival Hall every week and I'm like working there. But anyway, but yeah, I'm okay with that. We're talking about Windows and yeah, the lights and things. And Timmy says internet died. Oh, sorry, Nova Scotia sounds like a rough place to be. Basically, yeah, talking about my hopes, but it is always available on YouTube if you want. Now, my next hope, and this is again a little bit of a project, is to make at least, and I just realized it didn't quite copy all of the text, but I'm going to make at least 4 new Bezzy bargain bags. I'm going to be working with Vagard and Dina. So Vagard is going to be helping me do printing in Europe. The plan is that Vagard will organize the printing. All the international orders, Vagard will ship it from Poland to all the countries that aren't the UK. Then Vagard will ship me however many I need for the UK, and then I will ship it from here to the people within the UK locally. And that's the plan. And so that will be a great help, because then, as opposed to my last Kickstarter, this time I'll be able to engage everyone in the world. And if they want a physical copy, they can get it more easily. Then Dina helped me with the marketing, and I'm going to keep working with Dina, pay Dina a percentage of the take. And what are these Bezzy bargain bags going to be? Let me add a bit new text. So there'll probably be some games involving root vegetables. There's a game involving making poems and or songs that rhyme. There's one game about drafting cards quickly. So you need to draft the cards quickly, but there's also lots of text. And so there is definitely, it's a speed game, but it's like the slowest speed game that you'll have played, because it takes people like about 5 seconds to read everything and think, okay, what am I going to grab? Oh, and based on the cards that I've already collected in my hand, and I can only grab cards 3 times during the entire game, which ones do I get? I'm quite chuffed with that. And yeah, the one about complimenting other people, and the 2-player LARP with Laura Wood, I really want to make that. I want to just make loads of things and have them be out there and people playing them. And I think that doing the business model of print 100 copies, sell that, run the Kickstarter, and then sell that to all the people, that feels like a good viable model to keep going forwards with. And Jess says, it's worth your game's name being changed so you can eat at Curry Shack. Hello, Sate. It is lovely to see you. I hope that you are generally well. And yes, if you are up for coming on to the show next year, it would be a delight, because I've been playing quite a bit of Board Game Arena. You might be interested to know. And yes, it brought me a lot of pleasure over Christmas when I couldn't see anyone. But that is Sate, the community manager for Board Game Arena. Continuing with my own hopes and objectives, I want to write a short book of LDEC games. I want to have a book like a physical manifestation of, okay, here's a bunch of things and the rules are nicely laid out, and here's a bit about it, and it feels. And once I get that out and have a physical deck available to buy, again, then I hope that I'll be able to start the wheels churning. And my final thing is write a first draft of a book about design. So for a while, I've been wanting to write a book about making games, or indeed any other creative endeavor, because it's all about what are you doing and why are you doing it, and this introspection. I just think that that's a book that hopefully I would be able to contribute something of value, because I've been doing it full-time 7.5 years. I might have learnt a couple of things. Actually, finally, no, this is also penultimate. Decluttering, working through my boxes. This is going to take me a big bulk of the year. I want to open up a box at a time, read the books, give some away, give some of my clothes away, gear up, kind of. I'll review some of the games. I'll probably be talking a lot more about specific games and then saying, this is that, this is that, this is that. This one I'm keeping, these other 3 I'm giving away, as I get ready for a major intercontinental move. And finally, what I want is more pitches. I want to pitch more games, more conventions. That's going to be very easy to do. I mean, I only went to 3 last year. More dancing. I want to make sure that I have time to dance, even if it's just on my own. More time to move my body, more exercise in general, more cucumbers. I mean, I just realized, yes, I really enjoy cucumbers, and are just a really nice to have in there. But that also represents just carrots, like having some staple healthy vegetables in the fridge. I think is going to be a really good thing to manage my health, because it's so easy if you've got chocolates in there, if you've bought a lot of chocolates for all your helpers at a convention, but then they don't eat much of that chocolate, then you get COVID, and then you end up eating all of that chocolate yourself. That's not great. I want to play more games. Yeah, I mean, I did play a lot of games last year, but I'll continue playing more games, and yeah, even if it's equal, that will be fine. I want to continue designing, get offload the logistics, talking about and let me catch up with the chat. Xate says she saw me online quite a lot. That sounded stalkerly. I just noticed you're around. Wait, still sounds creepy. Timmy, yes, if you want an intercontinental move, there are cheaper places to live, like Thailand. Yes, Jess, I might set up my poll. It depends. That depends on decluttering. But even before I set up my poll, I might, take my hula hoop outside. I'm not sure if there's definitely not space right now to hula hoop with all the boxes around. There'd definitely be space if there were no boxes at all here to hula hoop. Will there be space for pole dancing? Possibly, I'm not sure. And yes, cucumbers are indeed good with balsamic vinegar. Cucumbers with soy sauce and toasted sesame seeds. Oof, I've not considered that. I've never. Do you mean freshly toasted sesame seeds? I've never done that myself. Or do you mean just slicing some cucumbers, making an impromptu salad with basically just the ingredients of cucumbers, soy sauce? Yeah, do you put the sesame seeds and dry fry them? How does that work? Yes, I did have COVID. It wasn't. I'm still definitely down a bit. It's life. I survived. I was able to taste things. Thank you for the sympathies. How do you get a visa for Thailand? Jess might be able to help you. Xate, has a lot of experience with that. But yes, toasted sesame seeds. How do you toast it in a dry pan? Tell me about that, Elaine. Yes, so I'm just going to say, one of my things is to walk more. I already mentioned that. Walking through the park and exercising my body. What I've been doing as a resolution, I try to have a quick walk around the block before I look at anything on the internet. And the internet is such a big part of my life that, like, if I say any, that basically means it's the first thing I do. I might go to the loo if I really need to right then and there, but I'll walk around the block, I'll come back up the stairs, and then I'll get on with my day. And even that little 5-minute thing, it gets me ready, it puts me in a different state of mind. And I'm trying to one time, like in the afternoon, while it's still bright, while the sun's still up, at least if I can. So I'll get out maybe 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock, or if I need to, like 4 o'clock, but I'll get out at least once later on in the day for a bit of a walk, go through the park, because it does make me smile. And sometimes as long as I want, like maybe half an hour. There's even canals around here, which is amazing. And so explore that. That's something that I want to do. Yeah, I want to give myself some forgiveness. And I want to be gentle on myself. Some days off. And also, with the walking, I didn't do it this morning. Last night, I had a relatively light night. I was pretty shattered from all the cycling and the mental energy of making the games and then playing the games and then coming back home and cooking and then playing more games. And then it was a really good day. Yesterday was brilliant. I can't get over how amazing yesterday was. And today might be really good too. But I'm going to do it at least every other day. And that's a simple way for me to check, did I do it yesterday? Well, I might do it again today. If I do it today, hey, feel good about it. Did I do it yesterday? If I didn't, then I have to do it today. But at least I keep the streak going of alternating, hey, feel good about myself. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And yes, if one day is bad, then just try to be better the next day and forgive yourself, keep going, don't be too hard on yourself, I think. And just generally, I need to brush my teeth more often. I admit my oral hygiene isn't ideal. So I'm like going to for twice a day, but yep. And that is that. That is all the things. So in case anyone watching after the facts is interesting, start off with a 3-month tourist visa if you want to go to Thailand. Sesame seeds, yes. Elaine has some expert tips. Toast them in a dry pan. Keep an eye on them or else they'll burn. Mix them with cucumber slices and soy sauce. That sounds fantastic. So yes, the coolness of the cucumber. So presumably while that's toasting, then you can take that couple of minutes to just wash and slice the cucumber. That sounds good. Would you just slice it or would you chunk it? It might be good like chunked, because then you've got the bits in the middle for the sesame seeds to come into. Like I'm thinking maybe quartering it and then slicing it. Yeah, Timmy just wants to go anywhere where there's no snowstorms. Sate is also walking more this year. Last year's goal was 350 meters minimum on 50% of the days. This year it's 1 kilometer minimum on 75% of the days. That sounds fantastic and good for you. Like it sounds like you're continuing to improve your health. Fantastic. And there's a free website. You put in how far you walked and track it. Yeah, that seems like too much hassle to me. I'm not one of these people who like records every game they played. Even rating every game I played is too much hassle for me. So if I have to record it and put it into an app, that's just going to be another reason to not do it. I'm better off just doing it, if you know what I mean. But no, I understand that it might work for you. And if it works for you, then, you know, for those people who are worldwalking.org, that's recommended from Xate, and I'm glad it works for you, but yeah, it's not going to work for everyone, obviously, but yeah, I'm glad that it works for you, and thank you for the recommendation. Timmy's threatening to sail somewhere on a raft. And thank you for all the cucumber tips, Elaine. That is pretty much yeah, my hopes for next year. Um yeah, I don't know if this even needed to be a two-parter. Like, if you've got any suggestions, like anything else that you think I should think about for my next year. So, like, I'm thinking about my own design and the business and working with other people. I'm thinking about my outputs in terms of designs. And I think maybe my personal homework between now and tomorrow might be to try and put it into some clearer goals, saying I will do this by this, like. But yeah, that is definitely this year. Come to Berlin Con. That would be fantastic. But I'm not going to say that's a resolution because that's something that I want to do. Definitely would want to do anyway. Um, yeah, resolutions, that feels more like a thing to look forward to. Like, I had it earlier on before you came, States. I didn't call it out specifically, but yes, UK Games Expo, Aircon, where's my little thing? Festival International de Jeu, if I can go, Friendly Board Gamer Con, and other conventions. So this was just the next few things that I can think of, because that's what I should be going to in February and March, except for UK Games Expo, which is just such a big event for me as a publisher that I'm already thinking about it. I've got a big space, and my space this year is as big as it was in 2019. So and I'm hoping to have my special balloon machine that I bought in Nuremberg, so I can inflate these balloons and I can literally put people's games inside a balloon. It's like, literally, I can put like a game and then it'll be inside this balloon. It's incredible. You can even put like a bottle of champagne, although that feels like a bit risky, especially if people are using it as a bag. But my plan is that people will just be walking around the conventions with these balloons instead of bags. It'll just be funny. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I hope that I manage to get a bunch of helpers. If you are interested in volunteering, then let me know, and I might be able to help financially if that's it. If you are a good demonstrator and you like my sort of games, and if that would persuade you. But yes, indeed, a game in a balloon. Oh, I totally posted these all over Facebook, and this was 2 years ago, 2020. This was going to be my big thing back in 2020 at UK Games Expo. Exactly. Xates has never wanted an L deck more. I mean, you've already got both of them, don't you? But yep. So I have to wrap up. It's been a delight. I don't have to, but you know, I want to wrap up. Let's keep this a reasonable time. I'm going to say over to you. What are you up to? You can share, but only if you want to. So yes, is there anything that you are looking forward to? Anything that you need to do? Anything fun and frivolous? Anything super serious? Do you have any resolutions going forward to 2022? Do you have any hopes of your own? Anything that you're particularly looking forward to? Anything that you're particularly grateful for? Let me know. And, or indeed, if you just want to share what you're doing tomorrow or what you're up to in general, that's also cool. Xate says, the wee whimsical creatures in a balloon, because she doesn't have that one. Hello, Joanne. It is lovely to see you. Jess is looking forward to reading at least 10 pages of a book. And yes, Joanne, I hope that you're generally well. And just to get you up to speed, I've been talking about my ambitions and hopes and gratitude for next year, and I'll recap that in a tiny moment. But if you want to share any of your own ambitions or gratitudes or hopes or what you're looking forward to for next year. Xate says that this year it might be time to start dating again, COVID permitting. That sounds like a reasonable plan. Of course, you know, the whole dating scene, it can be quite toxic, but, you know, and it can also be really difficult, you know, putting yourself out there, but, you know, make yourself open to these things, you know, don't put take care of yourself, do care for yourself, but like, yeah, open yourself up to those possibilities. And I wish you all sorts of luck and success in your all parts of your life, professional and romantic. Jess is looking forward to eating, resting, and doing the last workouts later. This is just for today. Runa is looking forward to parents bringing a box of Lush products because Runa had it delivered to their house because Runa didn't know when it would arrive. That sounds fantastic. That sounds like a lot of stuff to look forward to. Now, to recap and wrap up. And Joanne's husband and Joanne and her husband went together to eat, just the two of them. It worked out well. An Asian place where Joanne felt comfortable. That's lovely. And yes, I 100% agree with what Runa's saying here. If you're dating, make sure you do it for you and not for anyone else. You deserve good people around you, no matter what connection you have with them. Back to Joanne, who's saying, like, it hasn't been out in such a long time to an actual restaurant. That sounds fantastic, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. I am also curious about what kind of food it was. Jess, though she may be in Thailand, they do serve other types of food in Thailand, and Jess had Vietnamese food. Apparently really good. Shrimp tempura. I've heard of shrimp tempura, but never, yeah. And so, yes. Anyway, I am looking forward to conventions, so many conventions, like including BerlinCon, yes. Having folk over in general, like organizing my space, getting a few more chairs around this table. Next week, on Thursday, after Chris works for me, then McCall's going to come over, so it will be like the three of us hanging out and playing games. General human interaction, cooking more tasty meals. I'm looking forward to having friends and also having a clean space when I've decluttered. That's something that I'm looking forward to, because I say I'm looking forward to rather than an ambition, because that's something that I am looking forward to experiencing that. A lot of this I'm looking forward to. Like, this is my gratitude. My gratitude list is big shops within a short cycle, my gas stove, windows, being able to walk around here, being able to be on my own, having books to read and comics, being able to express myself, and having Friday daytime playtests, a short cycle right away. And also I'm going to probably go back to Sunday daytime playtests, and I'll make a point of that being in my calendar. So if I am in London and I'm not at a convention, then I will definitely go there. My hopes, my ambitions are to finish Categorical, to get that reprinted, to get the L deck reprinted, so that I can get that out. Maybe even a couple deck, I don't know. And make an itch.io account so that I can put all my print and play stuff on there, because the current system of someone orders it, then I need to manually email them the files. That's a terrible system. I'm going to try to make at least 4 new Bezzy bargain bags, working with Vagard and Dina to do all sorts of different ideas. I'm going to write a book, like a physical book of LDEC games, because I think that's achievable, but that's kind of forces me to proofread it and make sure it's well written. And even if it's not perfect, it is what it is, and it's going to legitimize it. I'm going to make sure I write the first draft of a book about design and just general decluttering, sorting out my things. I want more pitches, more me pitching to other companies, pitching, like Bezzy bargain bags are going to be part of that. When I've made a thing, like this one, I might self-publish it as a card game because it can work as a card game, but would actually be a bit better if it was a dice game. But it wants custom dice. It wants one mold. It's not super expensive. Any publisher worth dealing with would be able to do that. But I'm not a publisher worth dealing with. I'm a small self-publisher who makes stuff indie. Like, I'm not someone worth... No one should bring me their designs for me to publish them. I'm not interested in that. I mean, I'm only publishing because I need to in order to get my ideas out there into the world. Whereas if I showed this game to, I'm not going to start listing publishers because then I'll be embarrassed and there'll be lots of people that I don't name. But anyone who's planning to print like 20,000 copies or more, one type of die, that's not an issue. And like the creatures, the turnips, like the compliments, if these go well, then I can again pitch them as a game. But I'm also just generally more pitching. And also maybe do some roll and color games for Crayola, see if I can do that. Like, see if I can work out. I'm thinking of Dice Farmer. So people might know Alley Cat Games that I used to work as a developer for. They made Dice Hospital. They've also made a follow-up. They've also made expansions. That's quite an involved game. I had a game called Dice Farmer. I'm going to come back to it. And it used to be a simple game with just a bunch of cards, bunch of D6. I'm probably going to make it a step up and add in some sort of elements, some kinds of people picking different role. Anyway, I'm not going to go into the whole thing. It's going to be quite an involved strategic game, maybe in the 45 to 90-minute range. But yeah, more pitches. Walk more, exercise my body, forgive myself, and brush my teeth more often. That is my wrap up. Joanne wants to say it was shrimp tempura. That was just a typo. That sounds fantastic. So I'm just catching up with comments. Scallion pancakes. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. Scallion pancakes. So for those who don't know, in America, spring onions are called scallions. Like, I feel like spring onions are more fun things, but like scallions, those Americans, I mean, I think Canadians use the US word. I can't remember where Canadians fall on the whole thing. But anyway, that sounds fantastic. And hazelnut ice cream. Jess says, decluttering is a fun and refreshing and creative process. Yes, I might start opening up a box when I'm streaming at home, and almost, if it's a solo thing, like make that part of the stream, say, hey, I opened up this box and this is what's inside. Tell me if that's something that you'd be interested in, like just me going through a few memories or whatever. Jess is doing the decluttering as and when she finds it therapeutic. It would be cute if there was a small Bez inside a Bezzy bargain bag. Yeah, that sounds logistically unviable, but I like your thinking. I appreciate that. Timmy, enjoy your ice cream. Joanne says the place was not crowded and staff were mask compliant, and kind of having that stuff is just a really nice thing that more people, some people, not everyone is good about this stuff. There's so many people that I get annoyed with in London walking around. Someone in the bank with the mask here, so you can't see their mouth, but you can see their nose. And I'm thinking, what? Why are you even wearing the mask? If you didn't have a mask on, I'd assume that you are unable to wear a mask. But clearly you're able to wear a mask because it's here. But don't you understand that air is coming out of your nose? Yeah. So, yeah, those Americans, the Eagle football team were playing the Dallas Cowboys, rival teams. And Elaine once heard spring onions or scallions called Welsh onions. Huh. And Xates grew up in Dallas. I was not aware of that. That's a famous place. There was a TV show named after the area with someone called JR in it. And I think there was one season of Dallas where, I might be thinking of the wrong show, where it went over so badly at the end of the season or the next season. They said, oh yes, that was all a dream. And that was notorious, and everyone felt like really annoyed because it was kind of retconned. But this was an entire season we watched, and now we are saying it's someone's dream. And yes, Elaine says, if everyone would wear masks properly, I'd feel much safer. You know what? Shall we have some global hopes? Shall we have some global hopes that aren't just about me and that aren't just about ourselves? Like, what do we hope for the world in general? I mean, this is I am going to hope that people become more sensible and people become more good at wearing masks. I am going to hope that people become more. This is a long shot, but I hope for everyone to get universal basic income. I hope for corporations and companies to become more actually. I hope for them to be regulated, and for anything that's got an environmental or human impact negatively, for it to be massively, to have a massive cost, ideally as a percentage of their net income. Because if it was like, okay, you can be fined up to 20% of your net income if you're over this threshold, I think that kind of thing seems reasonable, because then someone who's a sole trader who maybe only earned $6,000 through their work, isn't going to be ruined for life by such a thing. But then someone who's earning potentially billions, actually steps up and says, you know what, if I'm risking 20% of my net income, yes, I'm going to do that. I hope that, we are able to take charge of, reducing emissions, like as a global thing. I hope that, and I hope that people are a little bit less jerky. That's my general hope. Jess says, it's not just about the law. Thais are being very vigilant about mask wearing since Omicron came. Joanne's mother's birthday is next week. She will be 92. She is home from the hospital. Well, I hope that she recovers well, and I wish you all, as we move forward into 2022, my final wish, my final hope is for health, happiness, and success for all of you. So much love. I want to say, if you've been watching this, you probably know where I am. Stuffbybez.bitcartel.com is where you can buy my stuff. Twitter.com/stuffbybez is, I tweet, I share things. Instagram.com/stuffbybez, I occasionally share pictures. Twitch.tv/stuffbybez, I stream every 10 a.m. every day. YouTube.com/stuffbybez, you can see the videos after the fact, and you can also see them live, but it's not as good. Stuffbybez.com/discord, and stuffbybez.com is my main website, although there's not much there yet, but you can find my mailing list and stuff. But stuffbybez.com/streams, go here if you want to find out what I'm talking about in the next few days. Tomorrow I'm going to finish talking about next year. Monday I'm planning to have, let me double check the calendar. Monday I'm meeting Robin David, who's a designer. Tuesday I'm meeting Ben Parkinson, who's using games for social good in Uganda. Wednesday I'm not sure. Thursday, hopefully, Dina will be here, and Friday is always a quick 5 minutes catch up. So for now, share, spread the word if you so desire. Thank you very much, everyone. You are wonderful, even if you think you aren't. You have, keep it up. Lots of love and wishes of health and all sorts of things. Let's check out Nico Vox. I don't know what they are doing, but if you're on Twitch, then join the raid. Yes, indeed. Happy birthday to Joanne's mom. So everyone, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to Joanne's mom, happy birthday to you. Although, in Germany, it's considered very bad luck and disrespectful to wish someone a happy birthday before their birthday. But, I assume that that's not the case in USA. So happy birthday to your mom. Yes, that is amazing. And thank you, everyone, for joining in that. And indeed, health and happiness to everyone. And I really love all the positivity and all the wonderful vibes that are going on in the chat. And Jess, yes, it's true. In the same way that in Scotland, you wouldn't wish people Happy New Year on the 31st of December. You do it after the bells. It's very specific. Oh, thank you, Timmy. I'll take that as a general celebration. And so, yes, if you are going to join us, we are going to check out Nico Vox. Raid Nico Vox, who is currently playing stuff on a guitar. They're based in the UK. They seem to have a lovely, charming smile right now. I'm not got their audio on, but yes, for now, there's only one thing left to do, as always, and that is, of course, to say bye bye, bye bye. This is the goodbye song. Bye bye, bye bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye bye, bye bye. This is the end of the show. Bye bye, bye bye. And now it's time to go. Bye bye, bye bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye bye, bye bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye bye, bye bye. This is the end of the show. Bye bye, bye bye. And now it's time to go. Bye bye to me. Bye bye, Sates, and thank you for the lovely tradition that you started off. Thank you for nearing it in song. Bye bye, Jess. Bye bye, Elaine. Bye bye, everyone else who's watching. Bye bye, everyone who's watching after the fact. So much love and lots of love, and have a wonderful time. Bye bye.